All right, let's go. Let's get some matchups. Find some matchups rather for you guys to bet on. It's a beautiful day in La Jolla, California. Farmers Insurance Open is going on. Honestly, kind of a snooze fest right now with Justin Rose. She's absolutely running away with it, but you never know what can happen. There's, a ton of dudes between minus 13 and minus 9. So if he falls back, look at this. I mean, it's crazy to go down from minus 8 to minus 13. It's a full field. So if he falls back in any form or fashion, it should shape up to be a good tournament. But that's not what you're here for. You're here for it to find value on some matchups for the weekend. Our matchup tool has been killing it with the positive edge only. I think it's 71% this week, which is crazy. It's usually not that high, but it's having a good tournament. Basically, the way that I built this was it takes strokes gain data, current form, course fit, and then how the player has played historically on that course or tournament, then gives an implied win percentage on if that player, whoever's going against that player. So, for example, we have a 1.10% edge. I can't speak today for Adam Scott over Wyndham Clark. That basically means for anybody at home, minus 110 odds is 52.3% expected win rate. So our edge or our model has this closer to 53.4. So that's why you have that plus 110% edge. So let's just go through it all. I know you guys love FanDuel, so we'll go through that. Obviously, you guys like FanDuel. It's probably the most popular book right now. So the edge for today is the only edge for today for FanDuel is Hideki Matsuyama, or Maverick McNealy, over Hideki Matsuyama. So let's go look at their player comparison. Check this out. We'll do last 16 rounds because I feel like that's a little bit more reflective of how the players are playing, especially in early in the season. You just have no clue. You don't want to take data from last season to this season. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. All right, wow. Maverick McNealy this is kind of surprising. He's got the major edge in total. 0.8% edge in strokes gained total, which is crazy. This is a big reason as to why his putting is much better than Hideki's at the time. Hideki's losing 0.58 strokes on the green. He's one of the streakiest players. It's crazy to me because one or two tournaments he'll look like the best player in the world. He's walking in putts. He's doing everything right. He's reading the greens correctly. And then, he goes the very next week and sucks and can't putt and looks like an amateur. So that's the biggest discrepancy. No surprise that he's clearly better than Mav around the green. I mean, he's probably got the best short game on the PGA Tour. Maverick's leading him in approach, which is huge. And then they're kind of even. Maverick's losing a bit off the tee, and then Hideki's pretty much even. So here's what it looks like. Detailed comparison. Pretty even across the board. And then from a proximity-wise, I mean, Hideki's kind of killing him in this, but he also has played much easier tournaments. Maverick really hasn't even played this year. So not something that I'm would totally be nervous about. And I think that makes sense as to why from a positive edge perspective, why Mav has an edge, just because this should be closer to even money and he's the underdog right now. So, if you can get an underdog where you think should be even money, you take that 10 times out of 10. All right, so let's go to FanDuel for you guys. Justin Rose. Wow, this is an interesting one. Justin Rose over Michael Thorbjornsen. J. Rose has dominated this tournament so far. Let's go look at his strokes gained stuff because it's crazy. So here we go. Oh, man, I wasn't even sharing you guys the screen. All right, we'll keep on going. Strokes gained off the tee. This is where it's interesting to me. Obviously, we don't have strokes gained data for the North Course, but strokes gained off the tee, he's ranked 28th, which historically you have to be inside the top 20 to win. 7 out of the last 11 winners have done that. 70% of all top 10 finishers have done that. So the fact that he's not, inside that top 20 number and that he's not really gaining much off the tee makes me a little nervous going into the weekend, because this is incredible, but it can be unsustainable, especially on Torrey Pines. I mean, it's crazy the fact that he's doing this by the way he's driving the golf ball. I mean, he didn't drive it that well at the North Course. South Course, he drove it pretty well, but his approach play is what's carrying him. So let's compare Thorbjornsen and Rose. This is prior to the tournament. So we'll be seeing. I like to look at it that way, so you can kind of zoom out and not really focus on the tournament so much. Let's do last 12 rounds. Yeah, I mean, Thor is, arguably the better golfer. He has an advantage strokes gain total by 0.5. He's gaining strokes off the tee where Rose is losing strokes off the tee. Again, Justin's approach play has been incredible. So he's going to gain on that. And that is something, if he can continue to strike his long irons, he doesn't have to be the best driver in the world to win this tournament, especially with the way he's up by 4 strokes. Putting, they're pretty equal. Then around the green, they're also pretty equal. Both of them are losing strokes, which is pretty interesting. So here's the view. Again, like, it makes sense from the model perspective. If you zoom out, that he has an edge because, clearly he's been playing good golf and they should be closer to even money. Yet Thorbjornsen is, a 16-cent favorite. So I understand why that's an edge. I just am weary about everything that I said on this tab, is that, can you sustain gaining this many strokes approach and this many strokes putting through 4 rounds? That's the big question. Going to be answered today and tomorrow. And sometimes a player feels comfortable on a green setting or the complexes, and they can see the contours better. I mean, clearly, this is just insane. 7 strokes and then 3 strokes putting. I mean, that is just bananas to me. But this is what I'm worried about. This right here. T25, T59. Like, that historically does not get it done at Torrey. I know there's outliers. Harry English last year, Pavon the year before. Like, those are both outliers. They didn't drive. They weren't bombers. They weren't guys that were known for their off the tee game. So maybe J Rose continues this trend, but that's what makes me nervous on that one. All right, let's move right along. Let's just go through all the positive edges. Bet Chris, that's an extremely sharp book. If you guys have it and you find edges on there, take it, because it is the sharpest book out there. Bet Online is probably the most well-known sharp book. No surprise again, J Rose has a 1.53% edge over Theegala. Theegala is an interesting one, because if you look at his data, it's honestly crazy. Like, we'll just compare him to Adam Scott. That's a good one. Now, last 36. We'll do last 20 to give you guys an idea of how he played at the end of last year. So, I mean, basically even strokes gain total. His off the tee was pathetic all of the end of last season, and even coming into this season. His approach numbers weren't much better. His putting was even. Around the green was even. So he was very much so, probably, like, if you were to look at all the PGA Tour players ranked wise, he's 80, 90. And yet, if you go into last 8 rounds, he's played much better this year. He's gaining 1.59 strokes against the field. Putting much better. That's a huge thing, because his putter just let him down all of 2025, gaining almost a stroke on the green. Short game, he's always had a great short game, but 0.5 strokes, it should be no surprise. Pretty much even on approach play. And off the tee, he's still losing strokes. So this one is an interesting one. Like, I don't know if I would Oh, what just happened? Okay, there we go. I don't know if I would take that, but it's just super interesting on how all that's going down. And I don't, yeah, that's a weird one. All right, moving along. Let's see. Who do I like? Who would I take? I think I would take, this is probably my favorite of the day. Can you guys see this? Yeah, Hideki, Cameron Young over Hideki. So Cameron Young's been arguably, we'll show you, he's a top 5 player in the world now. I mean, that might be a hot take potentially, but I mean, the way he finished last year, the way he played at the Ryder Cup, the way he played at the Wyndham, the way he started this year, it's incredible. He's putting on a masterclass. He's gained an over a stroke total. His putting has been huge. 0.34 strokes on the green. He used to lose a ton of strokes on the green, guys. Like awful, awful putter. Around the green, it's getting better. He used to also, again, lose strokes around the green. Approach has never been his strong suit. But I was listening to an interview recently, and he basically said that he switched to the Titleist left dash, and he was a very high spin player, and it caused him to basically be able to stop the ball without it spinning back on his full shots on the short irons and the wedges. And he said it's changed his game. He said, if I had 137 yards, I knew it was going to land and just stop at 137 yards. And it's unlocked his confidence with the iron play. So I expect this to go up off the tee. Obviously he's a beast. So you see this, he's gaining massively on Hideki. Hideki, again, has had one good tournament. He did this last year too, which is incredible that he's going to potentially do this again, where he dominated at the Hero World Challenge. And then with an incredible Sunday round. Side note, Hideki, it's crazy. If you look at all of his wins, besides the Masters, but I'll get into that in a second, it's nuts how well he's played on Sunday. He's incredible golfer on Sunday when he's in the hunt and he can smell blood and can win. Genesis shot an incredible round, came down the stretch, basically 13 to 17, he birdied. Incredible. The Hero World Challenge this past December, he played from holes basically 5 to 13, the best you can play a golf course, especially down in Albany. He won the Bridgestone way back. He shot, I think it was either 62 or 63 to win on Sunday. And then the Masters, he didn't do this on Sunday, but after the restart, he went, I believe it was birdie, eagle, birdie, par, birdie to finish the round and have a commanding lead. So it's the way that he just turns it on is incredible. But again, he's human, all these other times. So if you look at all this data, clearly Cameron Young is leading the pack for all of this. And then you go back to here, and it's like he's an underdog, and we have a clear edge. So this is saying that we basically project him that he has a 52% chance of winning. The odds right now on Battle Line say that he's got closer to a 50% chance. So the value is on Cam Young. And I think that is my favorite play. I don't think Hideki drives the ball well enough around the South Course to really score. He's got a great short game. He's going to get up and down in spots that you just don't think he's going to get up and down in. That's just Hideki. But Cameron Young's a better driver of the golf ball. He's playing better golf. He's got a better approach play at the current moment. So, yeah, that's a no-brainer to me. Take the underdog there, and I'll see you guys at the counter for that one. One more thing I want to look at. See if Bet365 has any. Yeah, we've already talked about these. Both. I mean, this one is the most interesting to me. How is Justin Rose going to hold up? How is Sahith Theegala going to hold up? He's been playing terrible golf, but all of a sudden he's going to finish inside the top 10 back-to-back weeks. I don't know. But yeah, the one I really like is Cam Young, and I think I'm going to leave you guys at that one. Good luck this week. I'll probably stream tomorrow just to talk about some matchups, and then also potentially do like a low round of the day or top 10, top 20 guys that I think could sneak in. But yeah, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.